Hello and welcome to Sleep Deprived. We have the one and only Miss Bella Wolfgang. Welcome!
Thank you.
AKA my sister, my older sister that has always been a protective older sister. But I'm so excited to have you on Sleep Deprived. And you're a beautiful sister. I know you flew back from Europe to be on this podcast today.
That's true.
You were meant to co-host this podcast.
I did get shafted. That is also true.
But it didn't align at that point, and you have been traveling a lot. But thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule
You're
to
welcome.
come on to Sleep Deprived.
You're welcome.
How are you today?
Oh my God, I'm super happy and excited to be here. I've been literally so excited and also kind of nervous about what you're going to ask me today. Either she's going to absolutely put me on the gronk and grill me. For full public, for everyone to witness, or, we're going to have this beautiful sisterly chat that we've never had before.
Uninterrupted with no kids.
Uninterrupted, yes.
No
that's
husbands,
it.
no brothers, no one's interrupting.
No screaming babies, no dogs. That's
just
it.
you and me,
This is
baby.
You and me, baby.
You and me, baby. So let's just tell everyone who we are, our age gap. You can take the lead, what you've been doing. I will let everyone know you are recently single.
Yes.
So you are in your crazy girl era.
My crazy single
So
era.
my apologies if she starts being rogue, if she starts taking off her clothes. She is single. She has just gotten back from Europe.
I am unhinged.
She still thinks she's in Milan.
Yes.
And I've just had to bring it down. Like, she didn't sleep last night. And I said, why don't you sleep? She goes, my body's just still on Italy time. And I'm like, Bella, we had a flight at 4.
I'm jet lagged. I am actually sleep deprived.
Really?
For different, I'm just sleep deprived because I'm jet lagged. And I think I only had 2 hours sleep last night.
Oh my God.
I know.
Horrible. You did send me a message yesterday at 9:45 a.m. and you're like, wow, I just woke up. And I'm like, wow.
I know. I feel like our lives,
nice.
it was nice. Our lives could not be more different.
No.
That's why I love this for us.
Okay, so let's just take it back 15 years. So Bella and I are
15.
the youngest of 5 kids. I'm
Yep.
the youngest. You're the second oldest.
Second eldest, yeah. So there's 6 years
You're not the
between
second
us.
youngest, babe.
Second eldest.
You just said second youngest.
I'm trying to be the second youngest, right? I'm trying.
I know, Miss Peter Pan. I'm 26 and Bella is 32.
Yes.
32?
Yeah, just turned 32.
You turned 32 like a year ago, babe. You're almost 33, but she likes to take a few years off her age just to be younger.
I shave it off.
She shaves that off like leg ham.
Yeah.
And we grew up with 3 brothers.
Yeah.
And we had the best upbringing.
The best.
Besides Bella dropping me on my head when I was a baby.
I did do that.
It
You were
explains
very,
a lot.
yeah, it does. But I think that's why you're so, it's character building.
Yeah.
I think you needed that.
Really?
You were a wriggly baby. You were a very wriggly baby. I actually remember this clear as day. And I would have been little because there's 6 years difference between us. So when you were born, I was 6 and I thought I was just so fabulous. I remember when you were born, I took you in for news, for show and tell.
Like a
I was in
monkey,
kindergarten like a monkey.
chicken,
Yes.
a little plump
It was like,
chicken.
here's my silkworms and here's my baby sister. It was like silkworm, sister. I don't know which one's more exciting.
Silkworms.
Yeah, definitely silkworms. Anyway, I will never forget it. We were all sat in this circle. I was in kindergarten and Mum was there and Mum would have been like 20 something, 28
16.
maybe. 20,
teen mom.
so young. 28 maybe when she had you, 29. She had like all 5 of us under 30, which is like at 32, thinking about that is just mental. Like my brain cannot wrap its head around that. Anyway, we brought you in for news. Mum brought you in for news. And I remember you sitting there like tiny little cherub baby. You would have been like 3 months old. You were little. And everyone like wanting to like pass you around the circle. And I got to hold you.
That's
and I was
why
like,
I
this
hate
is
being
my baby
touched now.
sister. Yes. And then, I just remember because when you were born, I was obviously like 6 years old. Then you were 1, I was 7. So I have memories of you.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you do.
They're still there. Even with all the tequila shots and all the dancing on the tables, I still have memories of you, sweetheart.
I'm so glad. Thank you. And was I cute?
Yeah, so cute. You looked
button
just
me
like
up.
Bambi. Like if everyone knows Bambi, like if you want to know what India looked like as a baby, literally look at Bambi. She is like India reincarnated. Like Bambi, her personality,
She's so naughty.
her little like, she's so cheeky.
The way she, like, wiggles her
her
bum when
little
she
waddle in her little swimsuit, like splitting image. But you probably didn't have the curl. She has a bit more curly hair than you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you, so.
So you dropped me on my head.
So I'm getting to that. So I dropped her on her head because I just thought this child must not outshine me in any way, shape, or form.
And this is where the competition started.
It started day one. And I was like, look, I know how to do it. And I got you, you were crying. And I was, you know, we always have nap time. Mum, we had like, you know, remember we always used to have sleeps, afternoon siestas, very Italian like that. And we had an afternoon siesta. You woke up, I heard you crying, and I was like, being the big sister, like everyone's asleep, I'm going to go get you out of your cot. So I got you out of your cot, and I remember like clear as day because I got into so much trouble afterwards. And I took you out, and I was like bouncing you, and you were such a wriggly baby. Like you're like Sol's a wriggler. She's throwing her head around, and you were like that. And I would have been little, 6 or 7, and you literally wriggled. So maybe you were 1, and you went over my shoulder and just boom, like head first into the floor, thud, and then just screamed the house down. And I just remember hearing Mum like running down the stairs.
Getting the wooden spoon.
I don't even think she had time to grab the wooden spoon. And she came and she didn't even know what happened. She's like, what have you done? She's like hitting me on the like, what have you done? And you're just like screaming, and she heard the thud.
Oh my God.
So she probably thought I like threw you across the room.
And from that moment on, the rivalry started.
It was game on, bitch.
Oh my God. And from that day, this bitch has not backed down. She has been doing things. She has been stealing my clothes.
Well, this was should I tell them this top is actually yours? I pulled this straight from your bag.
It wasn't even hey, can I please borrow your top? It was, I'm wearing a top. Can you see my nipples?
This was the most sisterly thing I just did. I didn't know what to wear because my top had a stain on it from my coffee. And I went into her bag and just found this clean white top with tags on it as well. So I knew it was like never been worn, which is even better. I was like, perfect. That's the winner. And ripped the tags off it, put it on, and she came out. I was like, oh, do you mind if I wear this? And like, can you see my nipples through? Is that like, is it too much?
Classic sister.
It's a sisterly thing. And I feel like if we ever had fights, it was always because of like clothes. Mm-hmm. It was only ever about like stealing each other's clothes.
At what age are you talking? Because let's just take it back to
okay,
Bella.
Am I jumping ahead?
You are jumping ahead, but you're excited.
I'm excited.
So Bella grew up, you know, so we're 6 years apart. So she grew up primarily mostly with the boys first.
Yeah.
So Bella was a little tomboy herself.
Such
and let me just give you a little...
this will be good.
Well, I'm just painting the picture in case there's some visual listeners out there.
Okay.
So Bella was this little white blonde-haired girl with these big buck teeth. Like she was like a little bunny rabbit. She was the cutest little bunny rabbit.
I don't know about cute, but I had buck teeth.
I just squeeze you in those little bucky teeth.
I had the biggest buck teeth ever.
They were so big they would gnaw through
Shout
carrots.
out to my orthodontist.
You would never guess
You would
now.
never know.
But truly, she was this cute little girl with big buck teeth, which I love buck teeth. They were adorable.
Yeah,
but
cute for
you
time and a
obviously
place,
didn't love them because then suddenly I go into the room. We always shared a room. Like we were obsessed with sharing rooms. I love sleeping in the room with you, even though she'd be up late on her laptop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Bella, I'm trying to sleep. Like we literally shared a room until you were 26, until you got
26. I wasn't even at home when I was 26.
Well, we still managed to share a room.
We did. We loved sharing a room.
Yeah,
we loved sharing a room.
Bella was this beautiful little girl with blonde hair and big buck teeth, and this one day I walk into the room and all of a sudden her face is like pulled up like this. And she's got these cat whiskers on. Do you remember that?
How can I forget? I have like childhood
if I had to wear
trauma of those
cat
things.
whiskers, I would erase that from my memory.
Okay,
it's like
so
childbirth.
if people don't know what cat's whiskers are, they sure as shit do not put those on kids these days. Like, that is awful. Oh my God, no way. It's like, there was an episode of Lisa Simpson in The Simpsons. Lisa Simpson had these like, it was the same thing. So they strapped in here to your teeth. Like I had like metal things. Every night I had to wear them. And they were metal and they came on the outside of your face, not the inside, the outside. And there was a strap at the back and I used to have to wear them and sleep in them. So it was a metal thing pulling my metal all here and strapped around the back of my neck. And I used to wear
Oh my God. It was actually, I don't think anyone could not take you seriously.
No, but this was the good thing, right? So like, you know, obviously mum and dad were so strict. Like our parents were so strict. We weren't even allowed sleepovers. So that was the only good thing, is that no one was ever going to see me outside the four walls of the house.
You're lucky there was no social media.
Thank God. Could you imagine?
You would be ridiculed.
Literally. And I used to sleep in them, and they would be like these metal things, and I slept in them for years. Oh, I had every like orthodontic work I had.
But look at your teeth now. You would never guess there's been 15 years of
cat's whiskers, braces,
everything. But no, you were this, and I remember seeing photos of you. You're actually the cutest little girl.
Tomboy,
you had white hair, big blue eyes, like mum would dress you in little like bandanas around your head, little berets, and she was so cute.
No, but I was suddenly such a tomboy.
You got a sister and you turned
the devil
into the devil.
The devil.
But you were really cute, and I remember growing up because we had such a big age gap that I was kind of always left out of things. But then we always had sisterly things.
We did.
Growing up, you always kind of had my back.
I always had your back, sis.
To a moment, to a time.
No, I always had your back unless it was beef between us. Then I obviously don't have your back.
No,
obviously. Every woman for themselves.
Fly kick me in the head. That was a very fond memory growing up with you. I remember seeing this buck teeth bunny running across the room with her leg in the air.
I did
genuinely fly kicked me.
I did.
I told you, you smelled like
funny?
Actual shit.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I don't remember why I did it. See, that's the thing. I don't even remember why. That's why. Oh, no wonder I fly kicked you. You deserved it. But we had 3 brothers, and it was always like in the fights, it was always us against the boys. Like no matter what, like it was like those 3 are going down, and we are girl power, like Powerpuff Sisters. Like we are going to take them down. They absolutely always won in the fights, but we would band together. And you were like my little mini sidekick. Like you were so young. I was like, come on.
Come on, hobble along.
But we did have this, like, I think that's what's so special about our relationship and our, bond. Our sister. I was going to say sisterhood, and I didn't know if it sounded lame, but I love saying sisterhood. So cute. But I think that's what's so special about our bond, is because we had such a big age gap. So we actually weren't competitive. Like we didn't go to school together really at the same time. Like I finished year 12, you started year 7.
That's true.
And, I think I was in year 6 when you were in kindergarten. We didn't have the competitive nature that a lot of sisters have when they're super close in age. And I think that's something that being 6 years apart was good, because we didn't have like, yes, we fought about clothes and stuff, but we didn't have that like real competitiveness, I don't know, with whatever, friends or boys or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah. That's very true.
We've never been competitive.
That makes me think, oh shit, Bambi and Sol, what have I done?
They're going to be so competitive.
For bringing that up.
Yeah.
No, but that is very true. We never really had that. And you kind of led the way in the way that mum and dad were strict. So you had to try break the rules. And then by the time they got to me, they were like, oh God, we're exhausted. We have tried with this girl, and she is like unstoppable.
Oh, yeah.
Like Bella would try and, she'd be in year 9. And what year was I in?
Oh, like year 5, year 4,
kindergarten.
Year 5.
I wasn't even born.
No, you were so young. No, but I tried. So I was obviously the second eldest and the first girl. So I had to try and like pave the pathment. Pave the pavement?
Pave
the pave?
No, is that tequila talking?
I think that was the tequila talking. Pave the pavement.
Pipe down.
Path the pavement? Oh my God.
Pave the fucking pavement.
Whatever. I was
pour
literally
cement on the pavement. What is this saying?
I was basically trying to do everything, and I had all the challenges of like being up against mum and dad, and my older brother was really like protective as well. So I had like my mum, my dad, and my older brother. So like, for example, I wasn't allowed to go to formal afters, any of the formal afters. Year 10, year 11, year 12. I think maybe by year 12 I was allowed to go because I was 18, but I wasn't allowed to go to formal afters. I wasn't allowed sleepovers, no sleepovers. So like when everyone was being sneaky and going out and kissing boys and going in like to the mall and like, I don't know, hanging out with boys after school, like I couldn't do any of that, or, having sleepovers, because we weren't allowed sleepovers. Mum and dad knew where we were all the time. And so I used to hate that. That pissed me off. I was never allowed to go to any formal afters. That pissed me off. I feel like I just grew up in a bad mood, really. Pissed off and in a bad mood.
Yeah.
And I will never forget one night I was going to a party. It was like one of the first like boy-girl parties. And I'd bought a new dress. And like, you don't have any money back then. So buying a new dress is like a big thing. So excited to wear this dress. It was like this tiny little like black mini dress with like studs on it. So I remember it so well. And it was short but super cute. And I would have been in like sneakers with it, or like, you know, you're not in like stilettos. I would have been young, 14, 15. I was leaving the house. Mum was driving me. Mum thought I looked cute. And I walk up and she goes, go say bye to Dad, blah, 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 bye, Dad. And then my oldest brother pipes up from the couch and goes, you're not going to let her wear that out, are you? And I'm like, what? What's wrong with it? My new dress? And Dad's like, he goes, it's so short. And my dad's like, oh, yeah, well, I guess it is short, isn't it? No, you're right. She's not going out wearing that. You're not going to the party if you're going to wear that. They made me go change. I was so upset. Like I was literally halfway out the door. I was so excited. And then I had to backtrack and go change. And I was like, I'm still wearing the dress. And Mum goes, put some stockings on. I was like, are you kidding? It's probably like middle of summer. It's probably 30 degrees. So I put on stockings. I'm like trying not to cry. My whole outfit's ruined. I'm putting on stockings in the middle of summer. And I'll never forget, I was going to my best friend Phoebe's birthday. And it was like boys and girls. And I will never forget ripping these stockings off. She had like an apartment, ripping the stockings off in the lift, going up to the apartment, like tearing them off in the lift and like leaving them there. But this is what I had to deal with. And you didn't have to deal with any of that because I'd already gone through all the shit. And by the time they got to you, it was like the fifth kid. You got away with blue murder. They're like, India's not wearing any underpants. Oh, God, isn't she bohemian? Isn't she fabulous? I'm like, oh my God. Oh, she's just, you know, India's running around naked again. Oh God, she's fabulous. Oh, she's such a free spirit. Never, you know, this, thank me for that. Character building, but I paved the pavement.
I do remember those fond memories. You did get it.
I did. I had
tough, but you know what? You were the visionary for the family. Like
visionary is one word for it.
You were the prophet.
The prophet.
Is that his name?
The prodigal son. The prodigal daughter.
You were the prodigy or the Jesus
I was
prophet.
very studious.
Okay, whatever the fuck you were the one that was going to be the tennis player or the ducks. Okay, let's just preface. No, we don't even need to preface. This girl got like 98.
Oh no, I didn't get that high. But okay, like, we'll tell everyone. I got it in the 90s,
HSC,
something like that.
You would
Not
never guess it now.
You'd have no idea.
But
have
she was
absolutely
also
no clue.
a gun tennis player. Like, she was the tennis star. Like, let's be real. You're probably Dad's favorite because you gave him you gave him that close to success where one of the kids was going to make all this money. And you were so good at tennis.
Happened?
You were so studious. So I do think Mum and Dad were protecting you. They were like, no, you can't do that because you are our little tennis star.
But look at me now. Unhinged. They created the monster. Look at me now. Like, this is why I'm unhinged. So can I just say, shout out to all the parents out there. Give them the free range. Let them run around with their underpants off because they will be in their 30s and they will be completely fucking unhinged. And then there's no hope for them, really.
There's plenty of hope for you, but I think you need to get this unhinged out of your system.
I do.
Bella has just been to Europe. Maybe 7 times this year. She's back. She just came back 2 days ago. She was like, I'm actually going to
passport, will travel.
Yes. And she's like, I might learn Italian and go back in 8 weeks. And I'm like, Bella, you just got back. Why don't we just settle down, do some auntie duties, maybe help me? You know, Bella, a week before I give birth, Bella leaves again for another holiday. Like, she's just in and out. She's like a cold. She just comes and goes.
Yeah, that's it. I just never know. Be that, I'm like the crazy auntie that's always traveling or you never know where I am. Like, no one ever knows.
I don't know if that's a good thing. Because you know what? I've always tracked you on Find My Friends, and I've always tracked you. And at one point, you obviously didn't tell me that you had a new number. So I'm like looking at Find My Friends, and it was last year. And Mum goes, "Where's Bella?" I go, "Oh, let me just check Find My Friends because she hasn't been answering." I go, "Holy shit, Mum! She's in the middle of the ocean in Africa. What is she doing?" Like there was like whatever that Atlantic Ocean is, and I'm like, she's literally in the middle of the ocean. Like she's not on a
boat with some guy I've met
in a box.
You have to meet Fabio. He's fabulous. We're sailing to Africa.
And then like this foam was bouncing around. I'm like, okay, Mum, she is not in Europe. Like she was telling us, she is going around like Africa and South America. And then we figured it was your old number.
Oh my God. But do you know, it's so funny because obviously you have me on Find My Friends. Mum and Dad had me on Find My Friends. Before I went to Europe, I was like, everyone was like, we'll get you on Find My Friends. Fine. First week, first day, I'm in Ibiza. I meet this guy. He's great. He's fabulous. And he wants to fly me to Germany. And I was like, how on earth am I going to explain this to Mum and Dad in India and like everyone that I'm going to Hamburg? He wants to fly me to Hamburg. I was like, they're going to be like, you know, everyone's been warning me like, you know, be careful, be safe, don't go off with randoms, don't do this, just be normal. And I'm like, this guy's like, I want to fly you to Hamburg. I'm like, oh, okay, sure, why not? YOLO adventure. And then I'm like, how do I explain this? Like, oh, I just met this guy in Ibiza and now I'm going to Hamburg with him. I'm like, I'm going to be absolutely crucified. And I was like, thought about not telling anyone, but then I was like, they will look at if they see, as soon as you open up like the contact, you can see on the map clearly where they are. And I was like, if I have told you that I'm meant to be in London and you see me in Hamburg, they're gonna be like, she's off. She's gone, she's been trafficked. We knew it. God, all our worst fears have come true. So I had to basically say like, okay, I've met this guy. He's really great, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go to Hamburg. But the Find My Friends was like, it's made me have to be really honest with exactly where I'm going. And
yeah. Why don't you tell them that story about that Find My Friends that time with that guy?
Which one?
In the bush?
Oh, no, we don't need that story.
Are you sure? Because
we don't
that
need
is
that
a great
story.
Find My Friends
No, okay,
moment.
can I just say you asked me yesterday what is off limits and what is off topics and that.
Is that off topic?
I don't think that's the best
Let's
story.
just say I bluffed and I said, Bella, and she goes, I'm
the house
at
down.
a restaurant. And I go, oh, really? Can we come down for a drink? Little does she know I literally have her on Find My Friends. And she's in a bush.
Oh,
and I'm
my
like,
God.
What's this girl doing in a
reserve,
bush?
not a bush.
Anyway, I bluffed and I go, blah, blah, just saw you in a bush with this guy. And she
Oh
goes,
my God, I'm dying.
deny, blah, 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 blah. She just denied. And then it comes out and it was the truth. And
Look,
I bluffed to the truth.
Can I say, when you live at home at 32
you gotta be.
and a hot footballer comes to visit you, you just get creative, all right? It's a bush, it's a reserve.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, I wouldn't come banging on your door for a bloody bed. So be grateful.
There's
be
plenty
grateful.
of beds at mine.
Well, look, I got creative, okay? I got in touch with my free-spirited nature.
You said boho.
I'm so bohemian.
So tell us, you live at home with mum and dad.
Yep, let's not rub that in.
We're not rubbing that in. I have offered a position at my house.
Yeah, thank you. I love living with mum and dad. I actually do. I love it.
You're a good housemate. You're very good. She buys a couple of lettuce leaves to contribute for salads.
A few salad ingredients every week, a loaf of bread.
A loaf of bread.
Yep, maybe
some bread and butter.
Bread and butter, maybe some almond milk.
And you're 32 and you're recently single. So people may not know that you have had 2 long-term relationships. One was 6.5 years.
6 years.
Okay,
5.5,
Bella,
6 years.
Let's not try and bring it down. I think it was 6.
It's like 3 years.
And one was 5?
4.5.
4.5.
Yeah, so it was like 6 and 4.5.
And you have been in those long-term relationships and you just... Sorry, I was about to say you just got broken up with. I'm so sorry. You just broke up.
It's been 11 months. It's actually been 11 months. I literally looked at my calendar because I knew you were going to bring this up. And I was
I'm
like,
sorry. Is this off limits too?
No, it's absolutely not.
Okay,
this
cool.
was the catalyst for my single girl, unhinged, fabulous adventures of me jet setting around the world with one suitcase.
Some would say delulu.
A lot of delusion. Absolute delusion. Oh my God, absolutely.
And some people we were even saying, friends were being like, oh, is she a stripper? Is she this? It's
yeah.
I'm sorry. Why can't a woman earn money and go traveling without being called a stripper or an escort? Or what did you say, hussy?
No, yeah, that's what I mean. Being such a whore. It's oh, she's obviously a whore. She's whoring herself out there
whore.
to do it. You whore. I'm like, guys, I am sassy and you know what? I'm not sassy, but I am clever. And I have
cunning.
I'm cunning. I can, in Europe, guys will wine and dine you and you can really you can eat out at the best restaurants every single night. I mean, it sounds like, because guys will literally take you out, they'll wine you, they'll dine you, and they literally princess treatment you. But that happens in Europe. It does happen a little bit in Sydney, but more Europe. But then I think after a while, when you're posting on social media and you're constantly at the top hotels in Milan and the best hotels in Geneva or wherever you are, or, going to the most beautiful restaurants in, wherever, Ibiza, all over the world, people start to wonder, how do you afford this? How are you doing it? And there are literally no secrets. There's actually no secrets, but I do work. But yeah, everyone was literally what are her secrets? She's whoring herself out. They're doing X, Y, Z. And I'm like, guys, be smarter.
You do show a highlight reel on Instagram though. Lest
we forget, is that not what Instagram is? And I know that's
not mine.
Yours is very real.
I said, Bella, everyone is changing to be more real. And bitches over here,
I don't want to be real. I want to be real, but you're very, you're very real, but I'm not going to show the guy that I'm out for dinner with, I'm not going to be I'm out for dinner with this guy. That's just bizarre.
You to show us that.
What do you want to see?
I want to see I want to see you in a
She
little
wants
dingy
to see me
little.
suffering. You want to see the tears.
I want to see you in the dingy little apartment in Milan with the shower head that you
that was awful.
had a trinklet
That
of
was
water
awful.
and you FaceTime me.
That was awful. I was like crouched over. Oh, there's so many stories. Where do we begin? Should we go back in the beginning?
So I just want to know about, you've been in these 2 long-term relationships. Okay. You're recently single as of a year.
Yes.
And you're in your 30s.
Yes.
A lot of your friends are getting married, having babies.
Oh my God, a lot of them, all of them.
Your younger sister
has had 3.
Is a horny little rabbit. She just keeps popping out babies.
Literally.
I've even spoken about being a surrogate for you because
Seriously,
I'm like,
by the time I have 1, you'll have like, there'll be 6 or 7. I'll be like, okay, you're friends with the youngest. This is the cooking. Come on. It'll be Navy looking after like the baby because Navy will be like 12, 13. I'll be like, Navy, he'll be so good because he'll have 7 siblings. I'll be like, come on, babysitter.
Seriously.
But yeah, it is.
Do you feel pressure? Do you feel that pressure, you know, when you are in Europe living your best life and you see everyone pregnant or married, do you feel like there is a sense of, oh my God, what am I doing? Or no, are you enjoying what you're doing right now?
I think it's a really good question, and I think it's so interesting because obviously there is a lot of pressure at this age, but I don't feel that pressure and I don't let that pressure get to me because what is the point of worrying and stressing about something that is not happening for me right now? Like, why would I lose a wink of sleep over the fact that I'm not in a relationship? I don't have a boyfriend, not even close to having a boyfriend right now. But you know what I mean? Like, why would I stress about something that is absolutely not happening for me right now at 32 and comparing myself to everyone else that it is happening? You know, all my friends are now on their second babies. Like, they're married, they've had the wedding, they've had the first baby, now they're having the second, you're having your third. Like,
babe, I've had my third.
You've had your third. She's having her third.
She's having
her fourth.
Right.
No, but
I'm not pregnant either.
No, she's not. Let's not spread those rumors. But there's no point. I don't feel pressure. My family doesn't put pressure on me. My friends don't put pressure on me. I don't let society's expectations put pressure on me, and that's just me. You know, I'm doing my own thing right now. It's completely different to what everyone else is doing, and that is fucking fabulous. I think it is amazing, and I know you love it, and I know my family supports it, and I know my friends support it, and I know so many girls look at me and like, oh my God, like what she's doing is so different and renegade compared to everyone else. And I think that's amazing. And if I could inspire other girls to step back and not feel the pressure from society and not feel that, you know, oh my God, I have to be doing X, Y, Z. That is what I would love to, you know, get out of that. You know, if they're looking at me dancing on tables in Ibiza and going and shacking up with guys in Hamburg that I've just met, you know, if that is something that you go, oh my God, there's so much fun to be had at this age when you're single, is what I'm trying to say. And I think if that's inspiring for someone to go, you know what, I'm not happy, or like, I'm sick of feeling this pressure, and just like dive into their life and start living, that's what you need to do. Brush off that pressure, because why put more stress on you? Yeah, okay, cool, there's a body clock, there's this, that, and the other. Technology is amazing. Like, sure, I obviously want kids. Absolutely.
Do you want kids?
Absolutely.
I feel like last time I asked you, do you want kids? You said to me, I would rather 10 Chanel handbags than a child. And I'm like, they're pregnant with my third. I'm like,
I probably did say that. I was joking, obviously. I think, like, do you know the only thing that's ever made me want to have kids?
Navy.
Is your kids, Navy.
Was this Navy?
It was Navy to begin with,
yeah.
and Bambi, and now Sol. But
good.
But literally, your babies are the only thing that ever made me go, holy shit. Like, I've never loved this little human so much and find him so fascinating. I remember I used to say to my ex-boyfriend all the time, like when Navy was born, I was like, he is so funny. And my ex used to be like, oh, does he just tell the best jokes? And I was like, no, you don't get it. He's so funny. Oh my God, he's so funny. And today he picked a caterpillar off a leaf and it was hilarious. Oh my God, he's so funny. He's so clever. And I just thought, I still think the sun shines out of him. Like, he's just...
You are his godmother, so I feel like...
obsessed with him.
You have to think
that. I'm obsessed. But I worry that eventually I will have kids and that they will not live up to Navy or Bambi or Sol. No, I definitely want kids, but I'm not feeling pressured. I don't, you know, I'm not busting balls. I'm having so much fun. I'm having so many adventures. And what I'm doing now is like really strengthening and growing and making me a better, more fabulous person.
I agree. Are you looking for someone, or are you like, I'm single because you haven't been single in so long.
So
We've only
long.
travelled once together when we were... Actually, you weren't even single.
I wasn't even single.
No, you weren't single.
No, we've never been single at the same time.
We've never been single at the same time because she jumped out of her first relationship into the second one within a few months.
Yeah.
So we haven't been single ever.
Never.
We've travelled together.
What a missed opportunity
I know.
that we would have slayed the town down.
Are you looking for a relationship?
Oh my God. Eligible bachelors out there. Am I looking for a relationship?
Are you looking for a
Tall,
husband?
dark, handsome. I think
that's what I want to know. Because I feel like I was always looking for a husband.
Yeah, I think you were. The thing is now what I think I am. I think now when I think it's really interesting because obviously at the beginning I was like, when I broke up, I was like, I want to be single for 12 months. I don't want a single man. No one come near me for 12 months. I'm absolutely doing my own thing. No, I don't want to see you, hear you, smell you, get out. I'm doing me selfishly, independently. I book flights on a Wednesday, I leave on a Sunday. That's what I want to do. No strings attached. Do not tie me down. I'm doing my own thing for 12 months. And it's been 11 months. And only really recently, as of January, I reckon this year, I was like, it was around Christmas time. It really hit me. I was like, shit, I think I would like to get into a relationship.
Really?
Because I do think relationships, like the difference I've found with being single and being in a relationship is very rewarding. It's very satisfying. You grow, you're growing something together, you grow together, you're building something. Whereas being single is so much fun and it's crazy and it's like spontaneous and you can do whatever you want, but you don't have that same connection with someone of like growing and building something together. And I think it was around Christmas time when I looked at you, you know, you look at the people in your lives in like beautiful, solid relationships, you and Ben and my brothers and their girlfriends and my brother and his wife and my, you know, my parents and my friends and their husbands. And you go, that's what I want. I want that. I want that. But I didn't know I wanted it until...
You want my husband?
Is that okay?
You can have it. You know what?
Ben?
You can have it.
No, I couldn't deal. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Stop
the
it.
fights we would have.
Oh, stop.
Anyway, I'm not actively out there like, oh my God, I need to find someone. But I think if the right person walked into my life now, I probably would be ready to settle down.
Really?
Yeah, it's a realization.
And would you want kids quickly or would you wait?
Oh God, I don't know. I don't know. But then again, I say that today and tomorrow I might fly to Japan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I say I want to be in something and then and then the next day I change on a completely different trajectory. No, I definitely am open to meeting someone now. I was very closed off before. I was meeting the most incredible guys, the most amazing, beautiful, caring, incredible people were coming into my life and I just could not see anything with them. And I was like, no. My friends were like, oh my God, Bella. Oh my God, girls would kill for this guy. He is the dream guy. Why? What is wrong with you? He's obsessed with you. He is so perfect. And I'd be like, next. Savage. But now I'm kind of like, I definitely feel like I've shifted a little bit in that I'm like, I would be more ready to meeting someone. But I don't think it's like when they come into my life, I'm going to be like, quick, let's go, kids, babies, andiamo.
Really?
No. I think it takes a while to get to know someone. And I think when you bring kids into the world, you want to bring them into a really solid, stable relationship. And I don't think you know someone well enough. You need to date them for a little while. No, I'm not saying 5 years, 6 years at all. I'm just saying you want to be able to know that they're the right person and you want to know that they're your person and they can be a good father and be a solid partner and get through the ups and downs and stand by be by your side and want to work through the issues, because I think that's, one thing that I think in learning from past relationships that I wasn't able to do with past partners was work through issues in the relationships that weren't really big issues. But I think God, that's another tangent I'm going to go off on. But I think you need to know that they're the right person and they'll stand by your side.
Yeah.
Through the thick and thin.
That's true.
Yeah.
And going back to kids, I know motherhood bores you.
You're really pushing it, aren't you?
No, I'm not pushing kids.
We would have so much fun at the park.
Not going back to kids, but I know motherhood bores you. That's why I want to get your intake on it and your insight, because you don't talk about it ever.
Yes, we don't talk about it.
We don't talk about it. And
it doesn't bore me.
You just kind of come to my house and eat my snacks and leave. And like last night, I was getting angry at Navy because he was not listening to me. And you're like, come here, Nene. Come to I'm like, Auntie, you're on my side, babe. Yeah. But going back to motherhood, because you never talk about it.
I never talk about it.
Would you be like, does pregnancy scare you? Because you've seen me be pregnant 3 times. Oh my God, morning sickness and my body change and...
I've never thought about this.
You're like, oh my God, your boobs are so saggy. Like you notice this, like that's not in a bad way. Like I always point
very
out,
aesthetic
like,
focused in a nice
and
way.
Like I talk about it, whatever. I'm super open about it. Does pregnancy scare you? Does your body changing scare you?
Oh my God, that's such a good question. I honestly have never, ever, ever, ever thought about that.
Really?
I don't think it's something you think about.
Ass, you don't think about it?
No, like it's not like I think your body's amazing. It's not like you'd ever go, oh my God. Like I know some girls do like, oh my God, I'm terrified. Like I always say I need to get better at like having needles because like I hate needles because like when you're pregnant, you're constantly getting needles and checkups and scans and this, that and the other.
You're not constantly getting needles.
Not when you're pregnant?
No.
Oh, see, that's a misconception I have.
Well, like, not.
I'm not scared of being pregnant or anything like that. But like, I think if I was in it, I don't think I would enjoy it.
Really?
I wouldn't be like that fabulous, glowing. Like you were like such an earth mama. Like this is me.
I was not. I hated pregnancy.
You made it look
Navy
so easy.
And Bambi. Not Navy. I love navies. Like Soul was hard. But it's hard. Well, what I found hard, and I'm interested to see if that would be the same, was like my body changing, which leads me to trigger warning. Have you ever had any body image, body dysmorphia?
The way I think every girl's had that.
Your body eating, like I don't know, because I know you get a lot of comments how amazing you look, and you do look amazing, and you're always working out.
God, but this is the most compliments you've ever given.
Had a bad relationship with food growing up when you were younger or working out?
Oh, I feel like it would be. I honestly, genuinely think every single girl has had. You could not sit a girl down and say, have you I've never had an issue with food or my body or my image. I don't think any girl, correct me if I'm wrong, if there's fabulous like girls out there with like sky high levels of self-confidence and like come and teach us your ways, please. But absolutely, like I think every girl has, and I think I'm a very free person, but I'm also very controlled in things that I do. And I think one thing when I was going through, absolutely I have. The answer to your question is yes. And I think I didn't realize it until I came out of it. And I was like, holy shit. And until I became more like level-headed and centered and grounded and normal in the way that I approach food and exercise, that I realized I had a problem. I did not know I had a problem when I was in it. And it wasn't until I came out that I was like, that was not normal. That was absolutely not normal. And it was, like, I don't know, because it's like, oh, eating disorders, this, that, and the other. I think for me it was a control thing, and it was around healthy eating. And like, God, you can label it orthorexia. Or I remember mum once coming and being like, I know what it is. It's called orthorexia. Like I was like, I wouldn't eat pad thai because I hadn't cooked the pad thai.
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. And that's when I was like, hang on a second, maybe something's not right here. You should be able to sit down and eat a chicken pad thai with your family and not freak out because you haven't cooked it, you don't know what's in it, you don't know blah, blah, blah. I remember that was when I was like, maybe that's not normal. But in my head, I was like, I'm so healthy. I'm drinking green juices. I'm juice cleansing. I'm eating salads. I'm training. I'm exercising. I'm exercising. And I was like, I'm vegetarian. No, I'm vegan. I made this vegan thing. I'm making, like, I remember I used to make brownies with
garlic butter?
No, that was an accident. I remember you did that. No, black beans, like with black beans, like gluten-free black beans. They actually tasted good. I remember they tasted good, but maybe I just thought they tasted good because I didn't eat sugar and I didn't eat bread and I didn't eat gluten and I didn't eat...
go on like the longest walks and everyone was like, guys, it's 3.5 hours. Is Bella like walks off a cliff?
But I think I was going through things internally, not like feeling a bit lost, feeling a bit stuck in my relationship. I remember going through like a period of like not knowing what I wanted to do, being really unhappy in the relationship I was in, and the only way I could control this like crazy tumultuous like world that I felt I was in was by being super controlling and super strict with like anything I was doing, like in terms of food and exercise. And that was the only thing I could control. Like I felt like everything was out of my control. Everything was crazy. And the only thing I could control at the end of the day was what I put in my mouth. And so I could make sure that that was as clean and healthy as possible. But it wasn't until I met my ex-boyfriend. I remember I was vegetarian at the time and I went on a date with him, and I remember being like, I don't want to be that girl. The first date we sat down and he said, do you have any dietaries or like any like, don't anything you don't like? And I'd been vegetarian for years. You and I, we were both vegetarian.
You copied me.
Oh, totally. And I remember I sat down on this date and I was like dressed up with this beautiful Italian restaurant, and he's like, oh, is there anything? And I'd been vegetarian for years. And I said, no, I eat everything. From that second, I was like, I want to be that girl. I want to be that cool girl that goes, yeah, I eat everything. Yeah, I'm so cool. I eat everything. And I remember he ordered prosciutto and I was like, like literally like skinned, like raw, like
let's not talk about what it was. I literally ate it yesterday.
I know, no, but I love prosciutto now. Like I remember, and I was like, you're that girl, bitch. You are that girl. You eat everything. And from that moment, and my ex-boyfriend, I think he was so chilled and so great, and he ate everything. And chicken schnitzel, I hadn't eaten chicken schnitzel in years. I remember he made me obsessed with it. I was like, every night, he's like, what do you want for dinner? I was like, chicken schnitzel. I was obsessed. And I think that relationship made me realize how uptight and strict I was with my other food things before, but I didn't realize. And then it wasn't until I became super balanced. Like I'd never eaten McDonald's. I'd never eaten a kebab. I remember
a sloppy kebab at a night out.
No, not even a night out. I've never eaten a kebab ever in my life.
That's what I mean. You've never eaten one when you're drunk?
Never. I'm not a drunk eater. I'm still not. I'd rather more tequila. I'd be like, more tequila. I don't want a kebab. But like, I remember my ex and I one day, like we weren't drunk at all. We were like driving, we got petrol, and there was this amazing like kebab like place right near where we were filling up petrol, and it was like quite well known.
Oh my God, the one that sold the Turkish delights?
Yes. I even took you there. I was obsessed. Anyway, and I went there and he's like, we hadn't eaten dinner, and he was like, do you want a kebab? I was like, I've never had a kebab. He's like, you're kidding. And I was like, no, I've never had a kebab. And he's like, we're going to get kebabs right now. And we went and got kebabs, and we sat in the car, and we literally, it's going to make me cry. It's actually like a memory.
Oh my God, I'll get you a tissue.
No, I just want a kebab. And it was literally like a moment, and I was like,
why are you crying over the kebab?
I don't know. It was so good. What? No, I think it was just one of those moments where he was like, I think it was one of those moments like early on in the relationship where we were like,
why are you crying?
Because I just love kebabs. I'm not crying. I think just reminiscing on that relationship brings up a lot of like memories.
Oh, so you're not crying over the kebab?
No, I'm not crying over the fucking kebab.
Fucking no, you're talking about a kebab.
No, I think that was like a moment that it was a special moment. I don't need a tissue. Like, has a tear dropped from my eyes? Absolutely not. I'm a fabulous actress. Oscar worthy. Anyway, I think that was a moment where I remember he said, I literally fell in love with you at that moment. Because you were like such a bougie. You put on this like, I'm so bougie, wine me, dine me, I'm so, fabulous, and I want to go to gorgeous restaurants and have this lifestyle. And he was like, but here you are sitting in the car, in the petrol station car park, eating a kebab. And I was like, so happy. We were both so happy.
And probably because you'd never eaten a kebab before.
Oh my God, it was so good.
And you had so much control over
and I was so
the
free.
Food. It probably felt liberating to not really care. I mean, it probably was hard to eat that kebab, but
no, it wasn't. It was fabulous. It was fabulous. I think just talking about that relationship brings up a lot, because I think I'm still processing everything like after the fact. Even like 10, 11 months after, it's like,
You did think he was the one you were going to marry.
Yeah.
Like, you were like, he's the one.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's not the one. And you're like, no, he's the one. No, I didn't say he's not the one, but I'm like, he's not the one if you're having these feelings. Like, he's not. I said to you, you need a break. Like a good 6 to 12 months before you even think about if he was the one.
Yes.
And work on your problems.
Yeah. Yeah. We didn't have major problems. But I think it's like, I think all the travel and being single and all this like hot girl era bullshit that I'm doing is like a massive way of me. Thank you. But it is a massive way that I'm dealing with it. I do think in the fucking facade of like, I'm so fabulous and I'm traveling around the world is a lot of pain and a lot of processing.
Stop. Don't cry. cry.
I'm not crying.
You're like, your lips just quivered. They just quivered. Like,
I know, quivering.
What do you mean by pain and processing? Like you're trying to hide the fact, like what you
I'm
still
not trying to
love
hide
him?
the fact. No, I'm not trying to hide any fact. I think it's like, I think for the first time in my life, I'm by myself and I'm truly properly alone. And it's really hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I was in the fucking mountains. Sorry, mum and dad. Sorry for swearing. I promise I would not swear. But I think I was in the mountains in Kumbaya and I was by myself.
Kumbaya?
Kumbaya, my love. I was in the mountains.
Kumbaya.
And I was like, I came on this holiday. This is the most recent Europe trip. And I was like, you know, having this alone time, I surround myself constantly with people, with family, with friends. Like I constantly surround myself with people. I'm never alone. And I think when I travel, I'm like properly alone for the first time with my own, you know, I'm literally physically and mentally so alone. And I always say to people, it's not lonely and it's not scary. And it's not lonely because loneliness is sad. Like when you say loneliness, you think of like a sad thing. It's not that I'm lonely, but I'm alone by myself. I'm so alone. And I was in the mountains and I looked around, I was on a walk and I looked around and there's just like the most insane landscape. Like I'm talking like the biggest, tallest snow-capped mountains. Like it's just insane. Like and if you're going to feel alone anywhere, you're going to feel alone surrounded by snow-capped mountains in a tiny village in the Italian Alps. And I remember like going on this walk and like crying and laughing at the same time like some delusional crazy bitch and being like, you are absolutely fucking nuts and I love it. And like that was my internal dialogue, like you're absolutely crazy and there's so many ways you could process and do things and like grow as a person, and you choose to like go and skip through the bloody mountains, Kumbaya mountains. And I was like, this is so, it builds you as a person. It is absolutely character building. But I think that's like, I think all this like, you know, traveling and moving and going and growing and processing is like all part of this like healing process post breakup, I've realized.
And you still think you haven't healed after 11 months?
I think it's healing as a process. No, I think it's like healing. Like I literally.
Are you grieving? Or are you healing?
No, I'm healing.
So you're still not grieving, even though those tears came?
No, but I think it's like when you talk about anything that's like left an imprint, like I always say, like my past relationships have left an imprint on my heart. And like my most recent one is like an imprint on your heart and it will always be there.
Why?
Because they're like, you know, like it's like both of my ex-boyfriends, but, you know, my most recent relationship was such a big relationship for me. You know, it was like my biggest relationship. You know, we met when we were 26 and we dated for almost 5 years. So it's like those are the really like foundational years where you growing together, I think, and you're growing and you're building something together at that age, and you kind of have a vision for your future, and everyone's kind of like, you know, I think it's different to dating when you're 20, 21, but maybe people have that at 20, 21, but I didn't. And I think at 26, 27, 28, when you're growing at that, you know, when you're in a relationship at that age, it's a lot more serious and it's a lot more like he was my biggest love, you know, like I was genuine, like he was my soulmate. And I think, yeah, I don't know what I think anymore. I don't know what I think anymore. I don't know what I think.
Why do you think it still makes you upset if you're showing that you're living your best life and you're on social media posting all the highlights? Is that reality?
No, it's not reality.
To how you feel?
Of course not.
No, but to how you feel.
No, like it's fun for sure, but like what you see on social media is never, ever, 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 unless it's you, real life. It is never real life. Like I'm sitting there, people don't realize, like I'm going to take a photo of my beautiful champagne or my Aperol Spritz. It's Aperol, nothing hits, you know, nothing hits like the first Aperol Spritz at the Bulgari Hotel in Milan. Selfies, dressed, made up, you know, looking like $1 million, living this like, it's almost like a character. Like I almost say I would go into a character on social media.
You're like the rich mob wife.
Absolutely. And I will play into that character. And I also do it with guys. I play a character and I pull myself up on it now. And I tell my friends, I say I'm like playing a character. I feel like I'm an actress.
Like I'm seeing.
Like I'll go for dinner and I will act like I'm just like, not act different to how I am, but like I will make like my whole thing that when I'm there is like, even if I'm not into them, I'm like, I want to make you fall in love with me. It's like love bombing. Like I'm a toxic love bomber. Like, and I know,
Really?
toxic. Oh my God, I'm the worst.
Oh my God.
Awful.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
It's a terrible thing. No, I'm toxic.
Why are we admitting that?
I don't know. Can we edit that out?
I'm kidding.
No, I'm kidding. No, I am. But I think like self-awareness is like the biggest thing. And I think that's one thing I have in bucket loads is self-awareness. Like I know when I'm acting. I know when I'm love bombing. I know my faults. I am the first person to admit I'm sure as shit not perfect. I'm far from perfect. Like potential suitors out there, don't date me. I'm a psycho. I'm awful. You grew up with me. But I know my flaws and I know, you got to appreciate the good and the bad.
You do.
But I do think if there's one thing you got to realize is social media is sure as shit not real life.
No, that's true. But it's interesting that you say that, you're still grieving and you've got upset talking about your past relationships, because I think for a lot of people and for me, like you view you on social media that you're living this epic life, which you are. You're traveling, you're meeting amazing people, you're going out, but a lot you're of still not healed internally from a breakup.
I'm healing.
And a lot of people would think you are healed based off what you're showing.
No, of course.
So it's nice to know that you struggle like the rest of us.
Absolutely. It's a process. You don't struggle. It's a process though. It is a process. And it is like for every hot selfie I put up, there's a bucket load of tears behind them. There's empty. I wake up, what you don't realize and what I don't show is I'm waking up alone in a hotel room, in a random apartment by myself 95% of the time.
It's kind of fun though.
It is super fun. It's amazing,
like,
but you can spin it both ways. It's so fun. You get out and like you get out of bed and you walk out and you open your door and people,
there's the naked bellman there, like naked holding a plate of food, like voila.
I wish, but like for all the amazing experiences I'm having, for 95% of the time, I'm actually alone and I'm by myself.
Yeah.
I am, literally. Like for the amazing people that I've met and the great dates and like there's great guys I meet and like, I might spend a couple of days or a weekend and like, you think you just most of the time you're alone. And like most of the time you're in a random city living out of a suitcase in an apartment with no one there by yourself. But I make the most of it. Like I'm so like, I love dating in Europe. I think it's so much fun. I get my laptop out. I play my music. I do my makeup. I have, a little drink. Like I make the most of it. And I think that's one thing that I always do is like, and I think you're very similar. We always see the silver linings and we always put the positive spin on it. So it's like, okay, cool. Yeah, I felt really lonely today, or like, I felt alone or I'm in this city alone, but I'm going to get up and I'm going to go for a date and I'm going to go have a fabulous dinner and I'm going to have a drink and I'm going to talk to some fabulous Italian guy and like hear about his life and make him fall in love with me and love bomb the shit out of him and get a ride back on his Vespa and go to bed alone.
And ride him on his Vespa?
No.
Sorry, I heard that wrong.
I didn't get to ride him on his Vespa.
No, you just ride on the Vespa, not ride him.
Yeah, but it's not always rainbows and butterflies at all.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
That's nice to know. Yeah, Instagram is a highlight reel, but I do think that's changing slowly.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it can be toxic. I mean, have you ever felt like when you're at home doing mundane things or at work 9 to 5, whatever, and then you see someone in Europe? Do you feel like
absolutely.
FOMO and then you're like,
oh my God, totally.
You'd be weird. Flight out.
You'd be the thing with me, I can actually go there. I'm like, FOMO, oh yeah, oh, is that a special on Emirates? Oh,
totally.
No, but like, obviously everyone has FOMO. Like you'd be nuts if you didn't have FOMO. Like you can't tell me, you can't sit there and say, oh, I'm seeing someone living the high life in Europe and I don't have FOMO. But Instagram's a highlight reel. I'm sure there's so many people out there that, like, I know, they go, how do you do this? How do you live this life? It looks amazing. It's incredible. And I'm like, you guys don't realize it is amazing. And I'm seeing amazing places and I'm going to amazing places, but I am still working at the same time. I am alone 95% of the time. I'm completely like alone. I don't have any family or friends there. And I'm going out on dates with Italian guys.
And they can't speak English.
No, I don't go out with those ones, unlike you. That is a good story. We'll save that for next time. But yeah, it's a highlight reel. You have to remember. But yes, it's normal to get FOMO of other people's holidays. But all I can say is work, hustle, and get your ass back over there.
Yeah.
Go, do it.
Do you think you're going to go back over there? Or do you want to settle down?
Oh. Are you mad?
You don't want to help me?
I always help you. I walk into your home, I eat your snaps.
Facts only, okay? So last night, Bella comes to my house, right? At the worst time, like 6:30 witching hour, kids are going to bed. And she just rocks up in her bikini. I've just been in a friend's drinking fellas all day. And I'm like, what are fellas? She's like, you know, the seltzer. So I've just been by the pool.
I was a bit tipsy. I was actually tipsy.
And then I'm like, cool. And then Ben brings sausages off the barbecue and Bella eats half. I'm like, babe, they were literally the kids' dinner.
Oh, I always eat the kids' food.
She always eats the kids' food. Then she opens up all the pantry, starts eating corn chips. Then she sits down. She's got Soul in her arm, falling asleep. She goes, I can't move. And then she's, I'm a little bit hungry, so I make her a snack plate. Like she's my fourth child. I make her some olives and hummus and carrots. And she's like, oh, thank you. And you just come.
You're such a mum now, though.
Well, no shit. I would expect me to be a mum with 3 kids.
No, but to me as well. Like as the younger, you're 6 years younger than me. Like on the plane, sorry to interrupt you, but on the plane today, you're looking over at me because we weren't sat next to each other. We both had middle seats, but like she was an aisle ahead in front of me to the right, and I was an aisle behind in the middle seat. And she's like, look at me like, banana. Do you want a banana? And I'm like, okay. Yes, please. And she's like reaching across the guy next to her, like, sorry, excuse me, just passing me this banana, I'm reaching across the guy next to me. I'm sorry, I'm just going to get this banana. Thanks. And I'm like sitting there with my banana. I'm like,
God, that was
thank
so
you. Like
funny.
such a mum. I'm like, okay, yeah, I've got my banana.
I know, I'm such a mum now.
You're such a mum, and I love it.
I've always got snacks, whether it's for me and my bloody nausea, my motion sickness on the fly.
Yeah, but it's funny when you mum me, because I'm older than you. I'm so much older than me.
But you need mumming.
I do
Mum's
need
not going to
mumming.
mum you. She's like, oh, she'll figure it out. I'm like, Mum, this woman's like...
Every week it's a new country I'm moving to. I'm like, I want to live in Ibiza. No, I want to live in Milan. No, I want to live in Geneva.
Oh, I want to be Geneva. I want to be like Princess
of
Diary.
Geneva. I actually do just want to be like,
Do you think you're going to settle down or no? Like, will you settle in Sydney?
I don't know. That's what I was sleep deprived about last night. I was trying to work out where I wanted to settle, and that's what kept me up last night.
Do you feel stressed? Like, do you think you should be doing one thing, but the other thing you're like, I don't want to be tied down? And I also think this leads back to you wanting to have control on your life.
Yes. I don't think I've had a lot of I think since the breakup last year, I haven't had a lot of structure, and I haven't had a lot of...
You've lived out of a suitcase.
Literally. For almost for 10 months. And I haven't had structure. And I think as a person that actually thrives and loves control, clearly it can go too far. But I think as a person, I think all humans love structure and all humans love routine and discipline. And I especially do. And as a person that thrives off that, I find it stressful, and I find I get more scatterbrained when I don't have that structure and discipline, and I'm like living back at mum and dad's. My life is literally in a storage cage. You know, like all my stuff, apart from outfits that I have at mum and dad's and all my handbags, everything's in a storage cage. Like my whole previous life is in a storage cage. And I think that's really unsettling. And I think that's why people think, oh, she's so scatty, she's so all over the place, because I can be, because my life is literally packed up. So I can lean into that. But then I also, when I do lean into that, the reason I came back recently was just because I'm like, I have no structure and I have no routine, and it's really unsettling, and I'm jumping around from apartment to apartment, and I need a gym. I haven't worked out that. I need that structure and I need that routine. And I think lying in bed last night, I was like, do I want to move back there? Because if you want to move back there, you need to get an apartment, you need to get a lease, you need to find a gym, you need to do all of that, properly do it. Or am I doing that in Sydney? Because then you need to move out of mum and dad's. You need to get your stuff out of storage. You need to I don't know.
I have offered my house.
Thank you so much.
And to stay.
I don't want to be your full-time au pair.
Do you know how good that would be?
I am actually obsessed, and I would love that. But I don't know if that's what I need right now.
No, that's so true. And I think you're in that weird but wonderful stage of your life where it's like, settle down or settle for more tequila. You don't, but it's good you don't feel the pressure.
I don't feel the pressure.
And I feel like that's where we're very similar, because I didn't feel the pressure, and society standards and what's normal and what's deemed normal, marrying someone
older,
as old as, I'm kidding, but marrying someone older and just forgetting about the head noise, and you're dancing to the beat of your own drum in the way that you're just traveling Europe, and you're not settling down, and you're not working full time at home in Sydney doing the same things over and over. You're working from overseas and jumping on a plane and doing an Italian course.
We should call this episode Dance to the Beat of Your Own Drum.
Good job.
Working title. Guys, let me know what you think.
Yes,
Do we need to answer questions now or no, are we fine?
I'll bring it in, babe. This
Oh,
isn't
sorry.
your podcast.
Is this not my podcast?
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
It's
Well,
so
it was
nice to
meant
have you
be.
here. I didn't realise. Sorry, I thought this was my
bring the
podcast for a
questions
second.
in.
No, keep going. Let's finish. I'm loving this.
I don't know what I was saying. You just interrupted me.
About dancing to the beat of your own drum.
Yes, and I think we're very good at doing that.
You're amazing at that as well. You've always done that. I haven't done that all my life. For now, for the first time in my life, I am absolutely wholeheartedly dancing to the beat of my own drum.
And your drum is a little bit offbeat at times.
Oh, it's offbeat. It's out of tune. It's out of sync. And sometimes it's not even a drum. Sometimes it's a bucket upside down with a wooden spoon. But we be dancing.
Yeah, we be dancing.
We
and
be
I think that's
dancing.
really cool about us because we're so polar opposites.
Yeah.
Like you could not get more polar opposite sisters,
Literally.
clearly. But we're very similar in the ways, well...
We don't give a single...
Don't say it. Don't say it. You promised mum and dad you wouldn't
We
swear.
do not give a single... What's another word for
Damn.
that? Damn. We don't give a damn what anyone thinks. And I think that's where we're super similar. We do not let what anyone thinks cloud our judgment, influence us. Like, I mean, I sure as shit will ask you for advice, but at the end of the day...
You never take my advice. That is the...
But both of us, you never take my advice. You've never taken my advice.
You've never given me advice.
You don't ask for it. I wouldn't even bother giving it to you because it's a waste of my breath. You would never take it anyway.
Literally, when you broke up with your past relationship, you would come on my doorstep and cry and ask for advice, and I would tell you, I would spend hours of my breath.
You were amazing.
And you would do the complete opposite.
Oh, absolutely.
At one point, I told Ben to lock the doors so you couldn't come in.
Lock the doors. Put newspaper up.
At another point, I have never admitted this, but I'm going to admit it now. This one time, it was probably the 100th time you'd come over, and I had like given you my 2 cents, and I had like spent nights awake giving you advice, being sleep deprived when my kids are asleep. And this one time you sent me a message and I'm like, I'm coming over, and I quickly ran to the room and pretended I was asleep and didn't eat dinner because I couldn't hear another night of you looking for more advice. And so you spoke to Ben.
And did Ben make me cry?
He made you cry.
And did I leave? That was the night. He always makes me cry, that man. Every time I go there looking for advice, he gives me the hard truth, the harsh realities.
They butt heads. They don't butt heads, but they are so... have their own opinions, and they're both so strong that Ben and Bella literally like...
Yeah, we're super opinionated, and we're both like, we live and die by our opinions.
I'm so glad you admitted you're opinionated because I've told you that for years.
I've always said
no, I'm not. No, I'm not.
I will live and die. I'm opinionated.
Even proven wrong, she will still live and die
I
by
will live and die. But it's more my values and my morals and my beliefs. I will live and die by them. But I will live and die by... Like, I do think... Like, I think Ben's very similar, and like he will... live and die by, like, we're both opinionated and we will both take our opinion and belief to the grave. And like, if whether or not that upsets someone, we like, that's what we believe and that's what we think. And so then we butt heads because like he's trying to tell me something and he's coming from his very like firm belief and like what he thinks, and I'm coming from mine, which is like the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And then he's not listening to me and I'm not listening to him. So
and I'm just
it always
the
ends
Zen one
with,
trying to cut out a bunny stencil to be the Easter bunny.
You just go to bed. You just pretend you're in bed.
Literally.
And then I storm out and slam the door and I'm like, oh, it's not even worth talking to you about it anyway.
You're so hot-headed.
Such a diva.
You're such a diva. Well, we have a few questions I posted on my Instagram, and I said anyone can ask us some questions on 1-800-SLEEP DEPRIVED. I don't know what they are. They could be completely rogue.
Oh, God.
So watch out. But let's take it away with the first question.
Okay.
I have a question for Bella, and it would be, how did you manage to kind of start again after your breakup and pick yourself back up and go traveling and not... How would you have like any big sister advice for someone who feels maybe it's too late for them to start over again? Yeah, that's...
Oh, that's a really cute question. That question's going to make me sad. That's such a cute question. It's such a sweet question.
Cute is not the
Sorry,
word.
not cute. It's such a sweet question and such a great question. And I think that's something that so many girls are scared of. And I think that reason alone is why girls stay in relationships where they're not happy. I think that is the one thing that holds girls back from properly living their truth and living a life that's true to themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a great question, and it's really hard I think it's really hard to start again. It is really hard. And I don't think I fully processed that at the time. I really didn't. And I think it was like, it's not until after that you go, oh my God, I have to start all over again with someone else and get to know them. But you cannot let that stop you from doing anything or making the move or getting out of the relationship or just wanting a break or going traveling. Like, if you live in fear or let that fear hold you back, you're not living. You're not living. You need to live. Like, we have one life, and I think what you have to realize and what you have to remember is your time on this earth is so precious and so goddamn short. So don't die wondering. And I think it's so hard, but you cannot live in fear of being, you know, I have to start again, or holding yourself back from experiencing something, because you just need to have faith. And sometimes it's like blind faith and like blindly believe that everything's going to work out. Like, I am absolutely delusional. I'm absolutely delulu, and everyone around me says I'm delulu.
I'm so glad you see that.
I
at
know.
one point didn't think you knew.
No, I know I'm delusional, but you have to be delusional, because you have to blindly 100% be delusionally, like, believe everything is going to work out for me. Everything I want everything's going to work out. Because if you don't have some kind of level of delusion, you will feel the pressure from society. You will stay in the shitty relationship. You won't travel. You'll be busting balls to get back into the next relationship with some potentially mediocre guy that you're not really into, but because you're 31 or 32 and all your friends are having babies, so yep, he looks good enough, so come on, let's go, ring on, let's go, babies, let's go. You're not going to be happy. So you have to be ridiculously positive. Oof, yeah. Oh my God. Even when you don't feel it. Like, so delusional. Literally delusional. Everything works out for me. Do you know what I always say? I go, my mum, like, for example, like, even in the smallest way, like, just everything's going to work out. Like, you know, like, my mum will go, oh, is it hard to park down at the beach? I'm like, absolutely not. There'll be a park for me. Sure enough, there's a park. Absolutely not. Delusional. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go catch this flight, and like, I'm going to go here, and oh, but Bella, you have no friends over there. Oh no, I'll make friends. Absolutely delusional. Oh, but you know, like, you're going to go to Europe on a one-way flight. Absolutely delusional. Like, you have to be that level of like positive and just throw yourself into it, because you will not be happy. You will be stuck in something. And I just think never be scared of starting again. Never, ever let that hold you back. And there is someone for everyone at every single age. Babe, walk down the streets of Milan on a Sunday. There are the cutest Italian couples. They're like in their 80s, and they are holding hands, and they are kissing, and they are eating gelato. There is someone for everyone. You can find love at absolutely any age, and I absolutely believe it. I know. She's yawning. She's over my advice. She's over it. But yes, don't ever let it hold you back. I was passionate about that one.
I need to know how Miss Bella always gets men overseas flying her out. Please and thank you.
Oh.
Also, slay.
Slay, queen. Oh my God, I love that. How I get guys overseas and like flying me places.
Right.
I honestly, my friends say the same thing. And actually, most recently, I was in Switzerland with this fabulous gay guy who I became best friends with. And he said, babe, I don't know how you do it. He said, I don't know how you do it. He's like, you have this weird like power over men. And I actually think it's because I just don't give enough shits that they go, oh my God, this girl just like, you know, like, I don't know. I think with guys, okay, this is what I've realized. This is what I've learned. Okay. Guys are hunters. They love the chase. Guys love the chase. And if you make yourself so available and easy, boom, done, next. Like, they're not interested. But they want the girl that's hard to get, and they want the chase. And I think if you can lean into that, you know, in your way of being like a bit seductive or being like, getting them to chase you, they do anything to get you. You know, like they will like, they want the chase. Like, they're hunters at the end of the day. And I think if you can try and get them to chase you and you can play the game, that's my biggest thing. Play the game. Play it, baby. Play it. The game is there. Play the game. You got to play the game. People are like, oh, the game. Like the game of dating. She doesn't even know what the game is. She's like, chess,
I've been out
Scrabble.
of the game too long, baby.
Don't ask India for tips on the game. Ask me for tips on the game. Play the game. It's, people go, oh, I'm sick of playing the game. But if you want the guys to chase you, if you want that, you got to play the game.
Do you like the chase or the reward?
I like the chase. But I'm also like, I like to play the game. And a lot of people don't. But that's me. And yeah, I think you also have to just I say yes to everything as well. So like a lot of girls, wouldn't like do half the things I do because probably like, dangerous, scary. They've never done it before. And I think if you just go into dating with this mindset of, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll get drinks with you. Yeah, sure. Talk to people on the street. I'm really open, and it's my energy that attracts, like people say I have a really open energy, and I think guys can feel that, pick up on it, and they love it. And I think that open energy is what, I will talk to people. I will literally talk to people. And that's how you start getting asked on dates, going for dinner. They asked me, like, I could have gone to Monaco for Easter, Sorrento. I had like invitations to these like Italian guys' family, like holiday houses. Like, but I think it's that open energy. It's saying yes to everything. And then it's also playing that game a little bit as well, that they start like
falling over you.
A little, yeah.
I love that.
Thank you. But you're the same. You know how to play it. She's just been out of the game for too long. Luckily for Ben.
Hi, my name's Indy as well, and I have a question for you and your sister Bella. Did you guys ever not get along at all? Like you guys didn't like each other, had lots of fights, and then at a certain age you became close, or did you guys just get along from the get-go? Yeah, because I have a sister, I have two sisters, and oh my god, we fight like cats and dogs. But thank you so much. I love your podcast, love your videos, and yeah.
Hi, Indy. Firstly, thank you for watching my TikToks and listening to our podcast. So I might let Bella take the lead because I just want to see if she wants to be truthful here.
Oh, well, you said, okay, no, okay. I think
you tell
feel like
Indy.
we answered this earlier, but being 6 years apart in age, I felt made us less competitive. But there was a time, I would say we were fighting, and it was when we were more in our teen years, and I was very protective
I'm
of you.
pretty sure you were like in your 20s, babe. You weren't a teen. You weren't a teen.
I was, because I would have been like 18. No, I was in school. You were young.
Bella, you were in university.
I wasn't.
Okay, I'll tell the story because clearly she likes to get a few little things in the story missed out. So she was probably in her 20s at university, and she turned into, do you know that scene from Mean Girls where they turn into animals in the cafeteria and they're like, that was like Bella. It was literally Bella. So she was like, I would be laying in bed on my iPod Touch, like probably like messaging a boy
listening
on
to
Kik
Justin
or
Bieber.
something. No, I was messaging, and Bella would open the bedroom door, swipe my iPod Touch out of my hand and say, I'm reading all the messages and telling mum and dad.
Oh my God.
You were literally in university.
I know, I did do that.
Or I would start getting free things, and I would be at school, literally at school. And I remember I got a package from Revolve, and I was waiting for it and waiting. And I'm like, where is this package? And I look on the emails, and they're like, no, it's delivered. And I was 16 or 17 at the time, and Bella was 6 years older. So you would think this girl would know better. And she comes in, and mum and dad were away, and she'd been driving mum's car, and she's feeling herself, and she comes in this like orange tracksuit that I had literally picked off the Revolve site, and I remember it so well. And I was like, is that my tracksuit? And you're like, no, I bought this myself. And I literally had to go onto my orders on my email and put it up next to her in the kitchen and be like, that's my tracksuit. And then she goes, get over yourself. I opened it while you were at school, and I'm not giving your clothes back.
I don't remember that.
Because you were so fucking delulu.
My head must have been so far up my
You were
arse.
honestly such a bitch.
No,
and I'm putting it out there. You were such a nasty bitch.
Okay, so Indy, basically, yes, we did go through a period where we fought like cats and dogs.
We were never close in those teenage years, ever.
I think I was obviously really protective of you. I must have been.
Just admit
I think it came from a loving place.
Oh yeah? What part was loving? What part was loving? I truly want to know.
I think I was protective.
Of what?
I don't know, but I do remember one time you came in with acrylic nails for your formal.
Oh my God, yep.
And I remember you got into so much trouble.
Yeah,
but I don't know if I
dobbed
on you.
She was such a bitch,
I
right?
think I was
No, we weren't close growing up. And we weren't close in the teenage
I reckon I
years.
must have been jealous because maybe you had so much freedom is what was coming up. I reckon it was like deep-seated, maybe like like childhood trauma of not being able to do all the things that maybe you were doing.
Yeah, but I was sneaky.
If I'm going to
Mum and Dad wouldn't
psychoanalyze
let
myself.
me.
No, I know you were sneaky, but you were always going off with boys. You had like acrylic nails. Do you think I was ever allowed acrylic nails?
Yeah, but I didn't ask.
Why do you think I don't take my acrylics
Bella
off now?
couldn't get her ears pierced. We weren't allowed to get our
Yes.
ears pierced until we were 21, then it was 18,
Yeah.
and Bella got it when she was 16.
Yeah.
Me, I got off the school bus when I was like 12 or 13 and
she
just got
did
them
it herself.
done.
Like,
And then I
India
got
would
my
literally-
like cartilage pierced when I was super
Yeah.
young, and I was just like,
That's
I got a
right.
tattoo, and then I covered it with a Band-Aid for 12 months.
That's
like that was
right.
a waste.
You just did everything.
I did everything, and I was
regardless.
like,
See,
what's
I
she
was
gonna
always
do?
like, I would get in trouble. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. And then I think when you were starting to do all this stuff later, maybe that's where it came from, like this bit of jealousy of being like, oh my God, I'm telling mum and dad because like I wasn't allowed to do that. So you shouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
That's where it came from
I'm
for
so
sure.
glad you admit it.
I
That's
didn't even-
definitely
yeah.
where it came from.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, yes, Indy, don't worry. You will fight like cats and dogs and then you'll be BFFs forever.
Forever. Well, thank you so much for joining Sleep Deprived,
Really?
Isabella, Wolfgang.
Thank you
I
for having
appreciate
me.
you for flying down to Melbourne during your busy travels. I know you could be in Hamburg right now.
I could have been.
And you could have been on a date in Monaco, but you
know.
decided to be here at Sleep
With
Deprived.
some fabulous
with me.
prince. And I wouldn't miss it for the
But
world.
thank you so much.
I love
It's
you.
very insightful. I loved hearing and you opening up finally, about everything. I'm sorry I made you cry a few times.
did not make me cry.
But I love you so much and
love
thank
you
you for
too.
joining Sleep Deprived.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye.